Dun dun dun! Whoa, and the screen just changes color all of a sudden. And all of a sudden there's a lake behind us. We're starting off pretty trippy today here on Higher Thought. Whoa! Happy May the 3rd, if that's a thing. Tomorrow's May the 4th be with you for Star Wars, right?
May the 4th. Yoda Burgers at Broda's Burger.
Okay, and I saw they have something at Epic Entertainment. You've heard of this Epic Entertainment with the big slide that shoots you up?
I keep meaning to go. It's like off the interstate counter.
They're having a Star Wars thing tomorrow. So, hey, yeah. Go check it out, Acadiana. Yeah, well, I mean, it's pretty cheap thrills.
Yeah.
You know? That's how we like them here in Acadiana. So welcome to the show. It's Higher Thought. It's your boy Nade, and we got
Will,
or William, however you want to call it.
Yeah.
You can get in on the action live here. It's some hardcore action now. We do say we're TVMA. Parental discretion is advised.
Definitely.
You know, so hey, if you have little children at home.
TVMA because we're TV MCs.
You know, what does MC stand for?
Master of Ceremonies.
You're right about that. Okay, what does DJ stand for? My kids didn't know this.
Disc jockey.
Disc jockey. Of course. This is an intelligent guy. I like him. So, here in Acadiana, we've been celebrating the festival. You said you went on Saturday.
I went Saturday. It was very
It's
really
crowded.
packed.
Yeah.
They had some good music playing, but I had to get out of there. Too many people.
Which, and as we mentioned, earlier, Jacob's girlfriend, her band was playing at the festival. We went and checked it out I was there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
What's the name of the band?
It's escaping me.
Gaping Me? That's the name of it?
Maybe in Jacob's eyes, but they could probably hear this in this other room, but it's all good. Hey, how you doing?
Gaping Me. Check them out.
One of the new themes of the festival is the wristbands, and I actually still have mine on. Here I can give you a close-up.
How did you get one of those?
I think you had to have some bucks. Yeah. I love festival. So, I don't know, it's kind of weird though. I mean, like, putting things on like a little chip and just scanning yourself on things.
Because I'm pretty sure it has a tracker in it, man.
Probably has a GPS tracker device in it.
But hey, that's part of the fun. That's what you pay for.
Just give up a little bit of your privacy.
A little anxiety, never hurt anybody.
And, after doing the festival wristband, I'm ready to take the mark of the beast, and just, mark 666.
Oh, you already have it. That's what your third eye is. That's when we come into this room, it's like, your ability to see things and experience them the way that animals in lower realms can't is like the mark of the beast. So you can easily indulge in, let's say, drugs and sex and music and just any aspect that you find intoxicating.
Well, that's an interesting interpretation of it. It was a fun festival. It was hot.
Yeah,
the temperature worked out. It was a little chilly on Thursday night, but fun times. Increased security. How about that?
Definitely.
Well, popos everywhere.
They weren't playing around,
it was like walking down Bourbon Street pretty much, as far as not seeing some of the crazy stuff you do.
Doesn't so much
not necessarily
like
smelling
puke and gasoline and
right. And marijuana as well now
that
because
too.
it's legal in New Orleans, basically.
Well, it's
not legal.
decriminalized.
It's decriminalized, right. Slap on the wrist, $25 fine for the first offense.
He's like, just don't let me see it again.
So, in that regard, there was not too many places to tuck away and, for the hippies to go do their thing,
You just got to find a reggae band playing. You just like...
Saturday, reggae. They had a couple different reggae bands. We went and saw Russell Cormier over at Reggie's Soul Food. And a little shout out there. And then they had another reggae guy from Jamaica. Can't remember his name. Dang it.
Lee Scratch Perry?
Maybe so. Who knows? I don't have my festival little booklet in front of me. Which, by the way, they need to make the booklets to where they fit the pocket.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But they just assume that everyone's carrying a bag.
Well, I'm not carrying a bag. I can just put it in my back pocket, but it won't fit, So maybe slim it down a little bit next year.
Yeah. Streamline
that.
Take a tip from iPhone.
Take a tit?
A tip. Oh. No, a tat.
Oh.
Take a tat.
Take a tip. Or a tat. Or a tit.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, Seattle's the latest city to forgive marijuana possession charges.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, isn't that an outdated charge?
Definitely.
I mean, haven't we proven that all of the old propaganda against marijuana is, hearsay and
obsolete?
It's got many health benefits to society.
Definitely, society and personal development.
So.
I do love Reefer
props
Madness.
to you,
now.
Seattle.
That movie was like, that was where it was at.
Which movie?
Reefer Madness.
Reefer Madness. Yeah, I have watched that before.
Like all those, they're hilarious. I'm pretty sure people who took drugs made those movies.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Because they were definitely, and of course, 1920s reefer wasn't the greatest.
I'm not sure. I'm not trying to speculate or anything. Well, it's not a speculation, but the guy that pretty much lobbied to have marijuana really made illegal.
Pharmaceutical.
He was the guy that had newspaper companies. He was holding a bunch of newspaper companies, and if weed would have stayed legal, then they would have kept making hemp.
Oh, they
so
had
he made
plenty of
marijuana
lobbies.
and all hemp illegal.
Right.
So
it's because of hemp, not because of marijuana.
It's because of hemp, because he had control of all these newspaper companies, and if he would have had to switch to hemp, then it'd have been bad for him.
And heck, our first president
and he
grew
owned, I
hemp,
think, lumber companies as well.
Lumber companies, paint companies, clothing companies.
They're all just trying to.
Yeah, I mean the lobby was in.
Sink their teeth into you.
And the pharmaceutical industry as well.
The pharmaceutical industry is.
And the alcohol industry as well, and the tobacco industry as well. So hey, the list goes on.
Addiction.
Speaking of which, once again, magic mushrooms, as they're called.
What about them? I actually brought my book of psychoactive plants. Actually, I have 2 books. I brought them on a whim today.
Well, in recent years, there's been more and more research on mushrooms, and a recent study shows that mushrooms can reset the depressed brain. They tested 19 patients who ceased to be depressed for 5 weeks. And apparently it affects the amygdala of the brain, which is kind of regulates your emotions and your fear and anxiety. And so basically it kind of just makes it less active to where you're not tripping out as much and gets rid of your anxiety and depression.
It's
for like a month.
One way to classify it would be you feel ease.
Okay, you speak of somebody like you have experience.
Maybe.
Maybe. Well, it's called higher thought for a couple different reasons. Yeah. But I find that to be highly interesting.
I find that I get way higher whenever I stay sober.
Well, you're high on life.
Exactly.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
No.
But I mean, to a certain degree, it does kind of open the third eye, as you mentioned.
Definitely.
And
there's ways to accomplish I guess you'd say it's a flow of endogenous chemicals that's in your brain from a scientific aspect. It allows you to open realms, but I believe these substances have ability to change personality, but also dissolve the boundary between higher and lower self. So you're able to be your complete spirit from all dimensions at once. I also believe whenever you take them, you're able to open portals with ease everywhere, like mirrors. Mirrors is one of them where you can just kind of very interesting. You can kind of jump over.
So have you traveled to another dimension?
Oh, definitely many times. And I know people would just say, "Oh, this guy's crazy," but
well, I mean, who's the crazy one?
I'm not sitting here saying that. Oh, it's all real, because I know the difference between what's
where
real.
you go in your mind is that what makes it real?
It might also be just me creating dimensions in my own mind that I'm able to travel through.
Well, sure.
Maybe we each hold our own universe that we can travel.
Well, I mean, and I think that's something that I noticed about the first time I met you, probably, was that you kind of speak the universal code, so to
Pretty
speak.
much.
I pick up on that, and I mean, I appreciate that because it's rare.
Thank you. I appreciate whenever people actually, not just that people listen, because it's easy for people to listen. It's actually for people to grasp concepts that you speak and really take things in.
Well, sure. Well, and I mean, that's part of, I guess, being a better person is being humble and, okay, let me listen to this. This is
nothing to be
different. I
humble.
don't understand this, and I want to, you know.
Well, being humble is really no different from being a boisterous person.
Well, sure.
Even that can be heavily argued.
Well, it's a balance. It's a balance.
Disregard
It's a
that last
confidence versus
But
boisterousness.
they do have similarities.
Sure.
Very, very much similarity.
Well, and I mean, I even have a list here. We got a couple lists here tonight.
Yes.
But 5 brutal truths, you know, and this is Buddhism, of course, to be a better person. So, number 1, it says meditation shows us that everything is impermanent, even our feelings. So, the moment we kind of can realize that just kind of go with the flow of the universe, you don't have control over anything, then, you know, that kind of eases tensions and anxieties.
Meditation's really good because it allows for reflection.
Well,
You can
sure.
sit there and really actually think about what you've done or think about what you're gonna do. It's like you know, in science there's kinetic energy
Mm-hmm.
and like how whenever energy builds up.
When you're
and
lighting
then
up your chakras.
Exactly. You're pretty much, it's like you're bringing luck in your pocket, kind
Mhm.
of. And luck is pretty much the same as karma.
Well, surely.
Karma's not always a
It's
bad
an
thing.
energy that you give out in the universe,
It's
and it
'cause
comes right back
the
to
mirror-
you.
The universe is kind of like a mirror. Whatever you do in front of it, you're gonna get that back. And
Right.
It's gonna affect you. So
If you're a
know
pessimist and you're constantly a
you're gonna
naysayer,
live in a terrible world. And
All
if
right.
you're a
then
positive
those
person,
negative things are going to keep on
If
happening.
you stay right in the middle, then just maybe you can like bridge the gap and like maybe create a new dimension.
So, in that regard, isn't worrying or being pissed off about stuff just a waste of time?
Definitely,
Yeah.
100%. I find myself whenever I'm pissed off, sometimes I really can't control it because I'll just go into it.
What's your animal coming out? You know, I mean,
exactly.
and I mean, we all have that within us,
try to
but the point is
refrain
of the
from-
human experience is to control that somewhat.
Right. I try to refrain from getting too aggressive at any given time. Like I don't like to be mad or angry, and I don't like to hurt people's feelings.
Sure.
Because I don't want anybody to get in my face about anything. But whenever I do, it's like I don't know, it's not good.
Well, of course. So we all
I'm not a
have
violent person either.
we all have those ugly sides, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
But as you get older, more mature, you know. I mean, those.
I've learned to control myself over
Surely.
the years, definitely. Meditation.
And that'll bring us to another topic here in just a second, just to finish off the list
alright.
here.
Put a stop.
Suffering is caused by the pursuit of temporary feelings.
Suffering is caused
By the pursuit of temporary feelings.
addiction.
That's one. You know, love.
Yeah.
You know, but is love everlasting, or is it just in the moment?
I think true love is what created the universe because,
Well, sure, it's the fifth element.
right?
You know. Let's see reality for what it is, and that can bring you happiness. Create.
What is reality?
Well, it just is what it is. You know, it's just the flow of the universe. This is my life. This is the stuff that happens around it. And this is what I've worked to become. This is who I am. You know, if people don't like it,
The real questions people need to ask themselves is not like who, what, when, where, why. Well, no. Who, what, when, where, how. The questions they need to ask is why. So, why is our reality?
sure.
See, think about it. Who, what, when.
Well, there's 8 billion different realities out there. It's a matter of perception and the mind.
Definitely.
So, and let's see, you can create life, I don't even see what that last word is, by accepting and embracing change. So accept and embrace change, essentially. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. And, in order to be kinder with yourself, more charisma, just to stick with the Buddhist list here, and this one's only 3, be kind to yourself first.
Definitely.
Can't be kind to others, can't love others,
Just
unless
like
you love
can't
yourself.
really,
Can't give off that positive energy,
unless you have.
unless you have it toward inward.
You have to light your own fire to light somebody else's.
Yeah, see your talents, right? You know, see your blessings that, you know, only you have. Because, hey, you know, we all have them. Well, some less than others, maybe. I don't know. Some more than others. But, you know, another way to become a kinder, more charismatic person. The magic of touch. Hey, how's it going, buddy?
High five, man. Just like, hey, how's everybody doing? Give a hug to somebody every once in a while.
Right. That's
or putting
spreading the love.
Give at least one or two people a hug every day.
Exactly. Or, you know,
I'm
and
gonna give you a prescription for happiness.
Exactly. And you know, this is quite obvious, but focus on the positive and focus on the love around you, you know, and the blessings around you, what you have and not what you don't have.
And then also, you know, they say, well, silver linings is the underlining message here, but anything negative that happens to you, think about it as if maybe that negative thing happened to prevent a worse negative thing from happening to you.
Right. I caught this red light.
Exactly, dude. That I told that to my dad one day.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was getting mad at a red light, and I was like, think about it. What if that red light saved you from getting in an accident 2 lights over?
Right. Or the slow driver in front of me.
Right.
You know, I'm
okay,
not.
this morning, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Well,
cut
no,
you
you're
off.
good, man.
This morning I was on Dulles, and I was going towards Scott at the light at Ambassador and Dulles, and I was sitting there, and the light, the left turn light went on 3 times, but the straight one didn't. And like the turning to the right didn't. I was just sitting there for 3 seconds. I was like, okay, I stopped and I was waiting for it to turn green, and the green left arrow went on. It was just weird because I just took a right and went to work.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I even find that sometimes whenever I want the light to turn green, then it turns red. But if I want the light to be red so I can, like, I don't know, write something down, or because I'm, like, eating, or because I want to hit the button, well, whatever it was, you know, then, you know, then it'll turn green.
Right.
So it's just kind of like the universal resistance, I guess.
I don't ever like to focus on red and green lights. I just try and
So you just run the red.
No.
I feel like
that's not what I meant. No, that is not what I meant. I mean, like, whenever I'm driving a green light, sometimes I'll call it like yellow, like whenever I'm feeling it. But lately I've been off. Used to I could get it, be like yellow, and right when I get to the line it turns yellow and you go through it. You don't ever stop at a yellow light. A yellow light is to let you know that, hey, it's about to turn red. We got a caller.
I don't know. Is that a caller?
What it is? Unresolvable destination.
Unresolvable destination.
Edwards, Minnesota. Thank you for
calling. Okay, call back.
It's very appreciated.
I think that was Mike. We know Mike.
Mike.
Yeah. I forgot what we were saying before the fake call.
Oh yeah, yellow lights. And another thing about yellow lights,
right?
If you can't make it through a yellow light without it turning red doing the speed limit, then you should stop.
Okay, then you should stop.
Yeah, if you're at a distance and you feel like you have to speed up to make that yellow light, like,
that's
then you
true.
should stop.
Yeah, some people are just in a hurry, you know. And it seems like we're getting a call. The call number's 366-8950. You might have to press 2. We can see if we'll get it again. It's saying unresolvable destination. So, yeah, give us a call back. Don't know what the deal is with
it's
that.
It's just
right
the
now.
NSA, man. They're trolling us.
Maybe so. Maybe we're talking the truth
The
too
FBI.
much.
Well,
But
maybe we should have one of them on our show one time.
You
Lay
know,
down some real truth.
come
for
on,
us.
NSA. You know, let's talk. Let's talk it out. You know, we can spy on people, and you know, hey, you never know.
Just have a staring contest with the camera.
Well, eventually, we'll all have staring contests with the cameras, because cameras will be everywhere, and we're all good with that, right?
Yeah,
I
we've
mean,
been trained.
social media world. Let's see. How about this one? A recent study shows, and this is from clinical psychological science, that a recent study shows your drunk self may be the real you.
A little bit, maybe so.
I don't
Well,
know.
it depends. Did your mother drink when she was pregnant for you?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, a lot of people view alcohol sometimes as the liquid confidence, you know, and they become their more fun-loving, over-the-top self. And, you know,
it's
so...
easy for me to socialize if I've been drinking.
Well, sure, and I guess the psychologists argue that, you know, I mean, to a certain degree, that's the real you, and we kind of just suppress ourselves, you know, due to societal norms and not wanting to be judged by others.
Numbing.
You know, and basically your super ego.
It numbs that little voice that says, no, don't say that. don't say
Right,
it.
it's
And you're
just the
like,
voice
you
saying-
just say it.
It's your little angel on your shoulder as
Yeah.
opposed to the devil on your shoulder,
Yeah.
you know?
I think they're probably both the same character. He's just really fast, so he switches by the time you get to look over.
Well, I mean, the alcohol brings out the little devil on our shoulder, you know? Well, so a lot of times, you know, most
Maybe.
of the times.
Maybe.
But, you know, I guess it's like our self just kind of has to regulate between the two, you know? That's, I guess, the self is managing and jumbling those two voices of like, hey, party it up, or hey, you know, you're supposed to live by the rules.
Right.
Our parent and our child,
What
pretty
are the
much.
rules?
Our parent voice and then our child voice.
And then that's where the mushrooms come in. They pretty much merge the parent and the child.
Right, yeah, that's a good point.
They allow you to bond with yourself.
So, I mean, should we try to be our drunken selves more?
Not all the time.
It's
Maybe
not always
every
appropriate.
Once in a while.
Like, not at work.
It's definitely not at
You
work.
know?
Not every day of the week. Not like whenever you got shit to do tomorrow. Like when
Right.
you know you got stuff to do
Maybe
tomorrow.
when the moon
don't
is
drink.
full. Because that has a big thing to do with it. And we're going to report about that next week.
Yeah.
I have a good
Dude,
little...
full moon I can never sleep.
Doing some research on the
year
subject.
since I was a child,
It's
no
very
sleep.
interesting.
Yeah, no
So,
sleep and crazy
I'm still
shit.
seeing the call coming in, and we're just not getting it.
Call the number. Let's call him.
And I think it's saying you're calling the TV studio. I don't know what the deal is with that. I mean, because we are the TV studio. It's not ringing. We got the ringer volume on. It's weird. It's weird. But keep trying. Keep trying. It's 366-8950.
Hang in there, buddy.
Press 2 after
Or
you're
whoever
prompted.
else is watching, call in so we can reset our phones and get
You
this
know?
other person through.
Hello. It's just not going right now. Okay. Let's see. So, yeah, we covered that. How about, yeah, you were saying you weren't a big fan of the Marvel.
Nah.
Well, this past
I'm
weekend,
indifferent.
the Avengers of Infinity War came out.
Yeah.
And it set all kind of box office records for the highest grossing movie in the first weekend of all time. And of course they had tons of stars in the movie. It's like over 30 comic book characters, which they've been kind of building up to this moment, I guess, for about 10 years. And I haven't seen it yet, but apparently, I guess the spoiler reports, kind of say that everybody dies.
That's cool.
Yeah, or at least half of the people or something like that die. What do you think of this comic, I guess?
Franchise?
Well, I mean, it's just a phenomenon, really. What do you think of the Marvel and the comic franchise?
Well,
You
the whole
voiced some
Marvel-
of opinions about Stan Lee earlier.
Oh yeah. The entire Marvel and DC universe, to me, I feel is just a method of desensitization, and I've sort of ruined all entertainment for myself in that aspect. Like, I can't watch any movies or TV without seeing what they're really trying to tell
The
me.
agenda behind it.
Essentially, and
Mhm.
it gets aggravating sometimes. But that's why I don't watch TV or anything.
Please hold while I try to... Thank you for calling TV Studio Q. Please hold for the next available agent.
What?
Please hold while I try to... Thank you for calling TV Studio...
Hello? What in the blue hell is going on here, Will? I don't know.
That's weird.
Yeah, well, caller, I think it's Mike. Yeah, we see you, man. I don't know what the dealio is. It's just a little post-festival breakdown, I guess. I'll try it one more time here. I don't know what the deal is.
Please hold while I try to... Thank
this
you for
again?
calling TV Studio Q. Please hold for the next available agent.
I do kind of like the music, though. Let's say some stories behind the music here. How about this one? Samsung in Sweden. They revealed a new program that hypnotizes you and erases your memory, so you can go back and rewatch your old TV favorites. How about that one, ladies and gentlemen?
That's hilarious. Okay, you want to know something about Samsung? All Alright.
Illuminati.
Okay. Alright. Samsung. What it is, for those of you that are Bible and ancient mythology aficionados, Samael, the angel, was like the poisoner.
Please hold
You know,
while I try to thank you for
Samael.
calling TV Studio.
And then Samsung.
Sorry.
Samsung. Sung is in many languages is related to the word attributed to blood. So it's like Samsung is a thing about Saturn. Oh yeah, and Samael is attributed to Saturn. But whenever you look on Samsung phones at the browser, the symbol is Saturn.
Saturn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right there.
Oh, okay. So what does that mean?
Saturn is the planet that controls control.
Okay.
So it's like all the systems, all the, like pretty much all religions, all governments, it's all directly under Saturn. Like Saturn in many religions, like in voodoo is like Papa Legba. In Greek and Roman mythology, you have Cronus and Saturn, the planet. But they all, like, to initiate into the spirit world and communicate with spirits, you have to, like, ask permission. And that's who you go through. That's, like, the spirit. And it's really all just energies that lies inside your brain, which is part of the universe that's out here. So it's like you knowing that you connect with this part is like, oh, it's putting it out there, and it comes and helps you. Or helps you do whatever you're trying to do. But everything comes at a price. Just remember that.
It's pretty deep, man. It's pretty deep.
Yeah.
Everything comes out.
Heavy.
It's heavy. It's heavy, man.
Like a black hole.
Yeah, you say you don't really watch the news, huh? It's been a big thing. Kanye West, you know who he is, right?
I've been seeing a lot about Kanye West.
Yeah, he apparently tweeted support of Donald Trump, and I'm still seeing the blinking red light.
Maybe
it's
that's
not
Donald
working.
Trump. Let's call Donald Trump on this show, man.
We've had Donald Trump on the show before now.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it was a guy in a mask.
Oh no,
but
let's
still,
get the real Donald Trump.
The real Donald Trump.
At real Donald Trump.
Hey, he can tweet on the show. You know.
Give us some live tweets.
Live tweets.
What do you think about
Show me your tweets. Let's see. So Kanye tweeted support of Trump. Apparently, Twitter lost its shit. You know, crap.
Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, and then Kanye said something about some slavery comments, I guess.
Yeah.
You know? And
What do people know about slavery that they don't know? They're slaves.
Well, and now he's getting banned on radio stations.
Dude, that's awesome.
Well, that's how the liberals do.
That's how it should be. He's like, well, no, that's how it is. Not how it should be. That's how it is.
Well, it's like liberals will basically, offend you till the nth degree until you offend them, and then they go and cry about it and
like
ban
all
you.
these people that.
Like, please hear my arguments, but I don't want to hear yours.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, either way.
I don't want to hear
both liberal,
argument,
conservative. They're
I don't
all
want to
stupid.
argue.
They're all stupid. And speaking of stupid conservatives, we're just joking. We know we got some conservatives and some liberals
it's not
that
just
watch us.
conservatives that
We
are
all
stupid.
like ya.
Anybody that's political, they're all stupid. Anybody who believes in
This
politics.
is higher thought.
Anybody
Politics
who-
is lower thought.
Yeah, anybody who believes in politics is accustomed to like being
Systemization.
systematized
Yeah.
and being like controlled.
Well, the NRA,
Your thoughts are not
the
your
National
thoughts. Clean
Rifle
your brain.
Association, is meeting this weekend in Dallas, which is, a lot of conservatives that want their gun rights. And there's going to be a bunch of protesters out there, saying, take away your guns, gun control.
Oh, they're like all for it.
Well, people are against it. Obviously, the NRA is for guns. But I think they are expecting some 80,000 people there, and I don't think they're going to have that many.
For gun control?
For gun. Well, no, for the NRA. It's like an NRA kind of meeting.
We don't need gun control. What we need is less mass shootings.
Well, yeah, and
We
human
don't-
control.
Yeah, no shit. Sorry.
Basically just some psychological therapy for some people, huh?
And not so much like messing with people's heads.
Yeah, exactly, messing with people's heads. Let's see, anything else of interest in politics that I wrote down here?
If
Not
it has blood,
really.
don't eat it.
Historic peace deal between, they had a comedian, I didn't write down the name, that roasted Donald Trump at like one of the presidential dinners.
Oh yeah, Michelle Wolf.
Wolf.
Yeah, I saw that. It was pretty funny. I mean, I find her a little aggravating, like her voice and her delivery, but her message behind it was definitely on point.
Well, who hires these people? I mean, it's a White House
Maybe
correspondence
Donald
dinner.
Trump hired her. And
They
was
were all
like,
pissed about it, but they just, I guess, Donald Trump is a ratings whore, basically.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, he will do anything for some ratings. And, was it a publicity stunt? Who's to say? But it's just kind of a joke, Let's see. Teachers in Arizona had a strike.
What?
Yeah.
For what?
They want some money.
Oh,
And
I figured
they
they
got
would
it
like
after
guns.
4 days.
How much money?
20% raise by 2020.
That's
What?
That's a couple years. That's like
What?
What do teachers normally make?
What are we doing here in Louisiana? What are we doing about our pay raise? I don't know.
They're
I
cutting
don't know.
them. That's what they're doing.
They're cutting it. They're cutting it.
Over there, and over there.
So yeah, we were talking about the Avengers Affinity War. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I'll probably go check it out maybe at some point. I still haven't seen the Black Panther yet.
Me neither.
I heard
I
that
haven't
one was
watched any of the
good.
new movies.
Deadpool 2 comes out next month. I was a big fan of Deadpool 1.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, it was
I
really
love
good.
that.
It's totally different than a lot of the other comic book movies. So I'm looking forward to that one. Also, if you're a Star Wars fan, Han Solo comes out next month.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Cool.
we get to see how he gets the Millennium Falcon, all that good stuff. Fox may be merging with Disney. Yeah, I guess everybody's merging with Disney. I'm merging with Disney.
I'm not.
No. Every time I hear that drum beat, I always think of the first line, pretty much, of "Waiting for Superman" by the Flaming Lips. Listen to it.
I don't know that song.
I mean, we can't
I'm
play
sorry,
it.
Flaming Lips. I don't mean to.
We can't play it right now because YouTube will write us a dirty letter saying that they'll take us off the air. But, because they've done that before. When it was Notorious B.I.G.'s birthday, and, we decided to
Play
jam
it.
a little bit.
What
But
if I
YouTube
sang
didn't
part
like
of
it.
the song? What if I mumbled?
Singing
part of
is
the song?
different. We just
Look,
can't play
watch
the
this.
songs without paying the artist.
I'm gonna go and start being a mumble rapper. Not like they have those mumble rappers now. I'm gonna be a real mumble rapper, like mumble for everything, even interviews and just.
Well, it's hard to believe even YouTube has spies that watch our show like that.
There's
you know?
spies everywhere, man, dude. There's even spies that are in organization that aren't supposed to let other spies know that they're spies.
Hey,
maybe
maybe this guy's a spy. Or maybe it's me.
We're all spies, man.
Yeah, we're all spies.
In the house of love.
Whoa.
I know the dream.
So,
Dream of.
that's some entertainment news. How about another study? Study shows that many more older Americans are having sex. Yeah, so grandpa and grandma are getting it on. Not
Naturally?
necessarily with each other.
Tantra. Are they like naturally or are they using pills?
Well, obviously it's some, extra enhancement.
I think at that point when I'm at that age, I would just probably not, because when you're that old, it's like you've seen it all, you've probably done it all. It's like, every once in a while make yourself feel better.
Well, maybe like for a while their wing wong wasn't working, and then they took the blue pill, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoop!
I'm back, grandpa.
I'm back on the market, and then leaving your grandma and going to date younger women and stuff,
That's ridiculous.
Curb
yourself,
but
grandpa.
hey, grandma and grandpa.
You're getting out of line.
Hey, and grandma might leave grandpa too,
Grandma's on that women.
Or maybe
female
grandpa
Viagra.
passes away and grandma gets busy. She finds her infinity stone down in her coochie.
She got a chest of drawers.
I don't think you
toys.
could say that on TV.
Yeah, you can.
I don't think you can say coochie.
Yeah, Jamie Badgeron
Coochie, coo.
Jamie Badgeron has a song that says that on the radio. It's called "Pop That Coochie." Like,
No, that's true. That's true.
yeah, so That's radio. That's everyone listens to the radio. This is AOC.
So props to Grandma and Grandpa. You know, I mean, they're getting them some.
Yeah, have,
you know.
have a little fun while you still can.
Well, you know, just don't have a heart attack while you're doing it.
And look, even if you do, think about it.
Yeah, and careful on those hips. You know, I mean, you don't want to bend too much. You don't want to like put too much weight on one
Slam
side.
dunk.
You know, I mean, like take it easy now, Grandma and Grandpa. Let's see. How about the Boy Scouts dropping boy out of their name?
The Scouts?
They're just the Scouts of
cool.
America.
Girl
They now allow
Scouts?
girls.
What about Girl Scouts? Girl Scouts is still a thing?
Well, here's the thing.
Well, we need to boycott Girl Scouts and just have Scouts.
They need to have more boys in the Girl Scouts. You know,
Or just eliminate
because
Boy
it all
Scouts and Girl
started with
Scouts
a
and just have-
transgender girl that wanted to be a boy, entered the Boy Scouts a few years back. Then eventually, you know, with the political correctness of everything, the girls won everything the boys got. You know, but the boys aren't trying to get in the Girl Scouts.
Well, I'm pretty sure at a young age, a child is not developmentally like stable enough to even be, you know, exposed to that kind of awareness. I believe that's something that should
Without being pushed by the parents.
Yeah, like the whole thing is, whenever it's there, like whenever you have a child who you may believe is transgender, just like let them figure it out on your own. Don't make it something that's implanted. So now it's like oh, it's a little thing.
But you say that you don't think people are so-called born like that, but
Well,
to a
it's
certain
sometimes
degree,
implanted.
we've almost been chemicalized that you know, limits your masculinity and lowers your testosterone and raises your estrogen levels.
New Rome.
So, and I mean, essentially, it is almost criminal to be a man nowadays, you know, a manly man, so to speak. It's almost criminal to be a white
Like
male,
even,
essentially.
look at this.
You know?
The
Whoa, that's me.
the troublemakers in the Middle East that have been paid by certain organizations that will not name on the Acadian Open Access. It's a terrorist organization attributed to the goddess of Egypt, the mother, Isis.
ISIS, or ISIL, as they call them. So,
Why do they call it ISIL?
which who funds ISIS? Oh, what do you know? It's the same people that fund the CIA and the U.S. military. It's the Rockefellers.
They
It's
know
the
what they're doing.
Rothschilds. It's those families. Many others.
They know what they're
many others.
doing, so you just have to know what they're doing too. And the only way to know what they're doing is to understand the systems that they use.
Surely.
They're all, for the majority, Kabbalists.
It's the consolidation
Kabbalists.
of their world government, their world corporations.
Yeah.
You know, pretty much you play ball or you get a bullet in the head. The last president to go against the Federal Reserve or the World Bank, John F. Kennedy, the last president for the people, he pretty much got a bullet in the head, ladies and gentlemen. He was trying to bring back a currency that was backed by silver and get away from the Federal Reserve and this, you know...
Not in this capitalist market. There's too much money to be made whenever there's no floor to how much money you can spend.
Well, I mean, like when our money was backed by gold before, we were backed by the Federal Reserve in 1913. Before then, it was the Industrial Revolution, the greatest, economic time in human history.
That's the thing about the Industrial Revolution. It gave you a way to like a new energy source that would have otherwise been unnecessary. Now, the thing about it is...
But at the time, our money was backed by gold.
Yeah.
And it had value to it. It wasn't just a little worthless piece of paper that was an IOU.
Gold was also like a metal that was used in a lot of things. So.
And where did all our gold go? I mean, because apparently it's not at Fort Knox anymore.
No, it's in England and other places. Probably Antarctica.
Who's to say? Maybe we gave it to the aliens. To the Anunnaki. That's who's got it.
That's exactly what's going on here.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
aren't
glad
they
you said
gold
that
mining? Aren't they gold mining
that's-
right now?
okay,
And
well-
we're just all slaves mining the gold?
Well, this whole planet, there's many like this. We're just a splice between their DNA and monkeys. That's all we are. Now, there's other people just like us.
97%
There's-
monkey, my
dude,
friend.
There's probably another planet just like this, a different me, person exactly like me, exactly like you, but spliced with monkeys. No,
Or
not
another
monkeys,
dimension.
Not monkeys, even other dimensions and other galaxies.
Right.
So it's like anything you can come up with exists because it exists in here, and so it gotta exist out there. You know? But what I
trying
was
to be a
getting
monkey.
on is like,
Yeah.
it's just like these are all colonies, these planets. But they also have something about it is it's not wanting to do that because it's essentially being raped. Same thing about the oil. Like whenever you take all these resources out, the planet dies and it doesn't be able to like sustain life anymore because
It's
it doesn't.
as if another planet or species is mining us.
Yeah, it is. But the thing about it is once it gets to the point where it can't take any more people, it implodes and it restarts.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's another few
It's
billion
already done
years.
it 6 or 7 times, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
And many people, predict this. I mean, that's
it's
what the
business.
Mayan
It's
calendar was
nothing
all about. It's
personal.
supposed to be from
It's
2012
just
to
business.
2021.
So don't get all butthurt over it.
Well,
everybody.
and I mean, like, wouldn't you think, though, that if the powers that be, the people that run our countries, the world, the corporation, whatever, if they knew that, like, we were about to have, like, a magnetic pole shift or, like, a planet Nibiru with the Anunnaki coming, like, don't you think that they would become more corrupt to get richer and help their families survive?
They did. That's what's
That's
going
exactly
on.
what they did. They're helping their families to survive.
Have you seen?
And they're screwing you over
wait,
in the
hold on.
process and making you dumb.
Have you seen the movie Jupiter Ascending?
Browsed over. I don't know if I actually watched
again.
it.
Watch it again with
Okay.
that thought on your mind of colonialism.
Okay, I will.
what it is.
I will. I think I just want to maybe scroll over. Do I want to watch that? I don't know, but no, I'll go
Definitely.
back and watch it. You follow sports at all?
A little bit.
A little bit.
I know sports. I don't watch I don't follow sports now.
Well, I
I'll play
usually don't
sports.
follow anything but the Saints, maybe.
Yeah.
I
haven't
watch
even-
at least watching.
I don't even.
I
know
watched
who-
the Saints.
I don't even remember who won the Super Bowl.
I don't care who won the Super Bowl unless it's the Saints.
Yeah.
February 7th, 2010 was my day,
Right.
because that was the day that the Saints, delivered us from evil and won the Super Bowl.
Delivered us from evil.
they
That's good.
sacrificed for our sins.
Yeah,
and-
44. Remember that.
Yeah, Super Bowl 44, and it was President 44, President Obama, that gave us our little, ceremony.
Yeah,
And
no shit. That's awesome. So that's
which, of
88.
course,
So it's Masters of Business, bro.
it was a rigged Super
Abuse of
Bowl.
love.
We know that sports are rigged here on Higher Thought.
Theft.
And of course it was a rigged Super Bowl because after Katrina, they had,
Super Bowls
revamped
are
the
rigged.
city.
What you
All
talking
Super
about,
Bowls are
man?
rigged. Well, I don't know about all
got
of
way
them,
too
but
much
definitely in the
money.
last 20
Well,
years.
All right, big business, big, okay. There's many different levels of criminals. Now, there's low-level criminals who's playing with small money and drugs.
Mafia
You got
and
middle-level
gambling.
criminals that are like
Right.
in business establishments, and you have high-profile criminals that are in every aspect of marketing and media. Now, the way they move their money is with expensive art, sports teams, all these stuff that are aesthetic value that have no real value to society. That's how they move their money. Just like a car dealership, like let's say a cocaine trafficker would use a car dealership or a laundromat to clean his money.
Mm-hmm.
They're using football, they're using sports, they're using
Basketball.
they're using art, they're using
every
fashion.
sport, soccer,
Pretty
big
much
time.
everything. That's how they move their money. So pay attention.
Half of the
dollar.
NFL owners have ties to old mafia bosses.
What
You
it
know,
is.
as far as like their family ties.
They know how to move their shit.
Exactly. Well, and it's passed through the generations.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, you can't really be mad at it. You just gotta give them the respect that's due and the power that they have. But really, when it comes down to it, we're gonna overcome it, and they're
Well, and
gonna
heck,
be brought down.
a lot of these
That's
teams got
natural
bailed
law.
out in the 2008 bailout, and the government pretty much runs these leagues.
Yeah.
So hey, let's distract the people. All those aggressive males, get them passionate about a football team as opposed to being passionate
woman.
about the government screwing you over.
Yeah,
So, oh well.
it's all a sham.
It's all a sham. It's all an illusion. Scooby-Doo ending?
Yeah.
We got about 6 minutes left.
Like,
Oh,
there's
13 minutes.
That's Wayne's World for you kids that don't know that.
Yeah, Wayne's World. They actually had a movie showing here. Like they did that one time here at
One
AOC.
time, and it was Wayne's
It was like Wayne's World 2 or something like that.
Oh,
and they
Wayne's
had
World
free
2 was
pizza
trash.
and drinks and cookies and everything.
Pizza, drink,
It was just
cookies.
like, hey, come watch the movies at AOC. Never happen again.
Never. Wayne's World killed it. They were like, no,
Yeah.
never doing it again. Too weird.
Maybe we can watch Deadpool next time. I don't know. The comic
Deadpool's
book.
like the Wayne's World of the new movies.
Well, I mean, when's the last time a funny movie came out? I don't know. I haven't seen Super Troopers. That came out on 420.
Yeah, I wanted to go see
I
that.
wanted to
Forgot
go
about
see it too, but everybody got stoned and
We should
forgot.
get Victoria in here. We should get Victoria to come in here.
Let's see. Have I covered the news? I believe we've covered most of the news. Got a couple more lists. I got some on this day in history.
What you got?
On this day in history, let's see, 1936, Joe DiMaggio. Where have you gone, Joe DiMaggio? Jesus loves you more than you will know. Uh-oh, watch out, YouTube. But he made his debut. He made his debut as a baseball player and eventually in the Marilyn Monroe JJ.
Really?
Yeah.
She was born in 1936? Oh, today in 1936?
No, it was on this day that he made his debut.
Oh.
Yeah. Was it Joe DiMaggio or was that? Yeah, I think it was Joe DiMaggio that
I
was
got
with Marilyn.
confused for a second.
It was like she was with
as you can see.
Marilyn Monroe. I think was with Joe DiMaggio and like with the president, President Kennedy at the time. You know.
Marilyn Monroe was a whore.
Happy
No
birthday,
doubt about it.
Mr. President.
She was like Babylon. She was
What?
Babylon.
I'm sure
Maybe
she
not.
was
I don't think
sacrificed.
I don't think she was so holy though.
She was sacrificed at the
at the helm.
at
of
the helm
Illuminati.
of the Illuminati, right?
Whenever you have carte blanche, I don't.
But
think
then again, that probably means they just sent her to an island and faked her death. You know,
I do think that sometimes too, but I think
like
maybe
Prince is probably still living. You know, he's probably
Nah, Prince is dead.
Yeah,
man.
well, the record company's
they
killed him,
they
yeah.
killed him on the airplane, bro.
Well, yeah.
Warren Buffett's airplane. They smothered him.
And apparently, they killed Chris Cornell and Chester. What's his name from Linkin
Chester
Park?
Bennington, Robin Williams. I believe they killed Robin Williams because of that movie he made, World's Greatest Dad, because that's where a lot of elitists and stuff are into.
Mm-hmm.
Is that kind of stuff?
Let's see. Also on this day, do you remember the fireside chats that Reagan had with the country?
I never heard any of them, but I know what that is.
Yeah, basically he started in 1982 5-minute radio chats with the country.
Ronald Reagan.
So I guess nowadays we get Trump Twitter chats.
Yeah, because I was about to say that, man. Trump is just a second Reagan. He's just a little more
I
extremist.
wouldn't go that far.
A little more fanatical. Ronald
A
Reagan.
little more fanatical.
Ronald
yeah.
Reagan was an actor. Well,
Right,
the only
right,
difference
he
between
acted presidential.
The only difference between Ronald Reagan and Donald Trump is that Ronald Reagan was an actor in Hollywood, and Donald Trump was on reality television. So he got to be I was about to say.
But Donald Trump actually worked in business.
Yeah,
you
he's
know,
a real
so-
estate agent for
right.
years. That's how he made his. That's how he got on TV.
I wouldn't call him necessarily.
If he wouldn't have
well,
had that money, he wouldn't have got on TV.
Yes, indeed. Let's see. 2003, the first Spider-Man movie came out. Wow,
Really?
slow day on this day in history.
Right.
May 3rd. Not a really exciting
Thanks,
day.
Tobey Maguire.
Birthdays. Get up, get on up, get up, get on up, stay on the scene. James Brown, the Godfather of Funk.
Dude, I
My
love
favorite
James
James Brown.
James Brown was 6'3".
My favorite James Brown memory.
Tom Segura.
February 7th, 2010. Saints win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So
When did he
everybody
die?
pretty much when?
Yeah, we already died.
It was around then. But everybody travels down to the French Quarter after the Saints win the Super Bowl. Traffic's dead stopped. We got our James Brown bumping and getting out of our car in the traffic jam and just dancing with people in other cars.
That's
And-
what's up. It's
yeah,
just a
like
citywide
it was.
party.
It was
Citywide
a
parade.
citywide
Okay.
spread the love fest. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Ran into some friends from Lafayette that I hadn't seen in a while. It's just
Years.
like, hey, whoa,
New
hey.
Orleans brought us back together.
They did.
The only good thing New Orleans is good for.
That was a day of pure bliss. You know, and I think maybe
bet.
like some extra mushrooms on my pizza maybe helped that day. Yeah.
That was wild. I'm pretty sure the whole city, whenever that confetti went off, they just had one giant orgasm. Just like, oh, finally.
Finally.
It had been
after
like 40 years.
44 years.
44 years.
See a couple other birthdays. Bing Crosby. You know who he is, huh?
Yeah, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. What's up?
Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah, really?
Yep. And Machiavelli, 1527. Not Tupac.
Yeah, I know
But
Machiavelli
that's who
is. I'm
Tupac
very
named
familiar.
himself after.
Yeah.
You know, apparently
he was a
faked his
philosopher.
death.
Oh, he faked his death?
Yeah.
Okay, well then never mind.
And, you know, Tupac changed his name to Machiavelli right before he died and came out with a record like a couple days before. I don't know. A lot of people say Tupac's still alive
A lot
somewhere.
smarter than people.
Oh, he was very smart.
But other than that,
very, very intelligent.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you something. This is gonna tell me a lot about yourself. Soup. Answer wisely. Who's the greatest rapper that ever lived, or is still alive?
Greatest rapper that ever lived. Oh wow. Man, it's hard to argue against Tupac.
Yeah. What about KRS-One?
KRS-One is like one of the originators.
Right.
You can definitely argue for KRS-One.
That's the only one I'll ever argue over Tupac. I just had to put that out there.
Yeah, I mean Biggie Smalls was no joke.
Yeah.
Busta Rhymes, I mean, gotta argue. I mean, he's got an argument.
Yeah.
I mean, just in how fast and the delivery. You know,
And
there's
the
a lot of
content.
people. A lot of people claim Eminem is one of the best, but
Eminem is one of the best, but he's not one of the best anymore because he's hollow, because he's a clone, because
at this point
they had to clone him so many times to break his will, but now they're finally getting it down, just like the weather with the harp. They're finally pinpointing that shit. You know, they getting us right there. So you need to watch where you at, people.
Right.
Stay
Well,
indoors.
how about we get into F's? You know what F stand for, right?
EF?
Flicks.
Oh, F's.
Fix. Fix to stop giving when you're a grown-ass person.
Don't give a F.
You don't give a F
F's
anymore.
to stop giving whenever you're
So
a
F's to
grown-ass
stop
man.
giving whenever you're a grown-ass person. Are we grown-ass people?
Yeah.
I think we
Holidays.
are. So how about what others think?
What
Who
others
really
think?
gives a flip? You know, I mean, I'd like our viewers to
Yeah.
like us, but if you don't, change the channel. I'm really not that disturbed about it.
It's not that hard to get up and change the channel. Chances are you're probably not watching, but if you are,
Well, it's on in the background while they're like doing their dishes and changing babies' diapers.
that's like my
and-
mom listens to NPR all the time.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, that's all we are is a glorified
Yeah.
podcast,
Mhm.
you know, until we get like some visuals and pictures and whatnot. How about being right all the time? It's okay.
Oh, dude, I love being wrong because it affords me the opportunity to learn something that I was
learn.
not previously exposed to.
You know, the perfect body.
What is a perfect body?
Well, I
A
mean, is
healthy
it
body, whether it looks a little fat or
a
whatnot.
little
you know?
chubby? I mean, like a little chubby used to be healthy.
Yeah, that is healthy, man.
You know, and actually, there's a direct correlation between like countries' starvation and how big they like their women. You know, I mean, like
Oh yeah, I forgot. That's why like all these videos like, oh, Hillary Clinton.
the
you know?
poorer you are, the bigger you like your women.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know,
They
let's
just like
see.
that weight.
Hey, because
They
you're
like-
healthy, you
like
can
to be
feed
crushed.
me.
You're like,
Let's see, obsessing what to wear. Let's just throw on something.
dude,
you know?
like I threw all this together because it was all black. That's it.
Yeah.
For the most part, I like to dress tacky just to throw people off.
Well, I mean, who cares? You know, I
Exactly.
mean, that's the individual expression, I
and
suppose.
even if they don't notice, it's like,
Or if you don't think you look good in it, so
yeah,
what?
I'd rather just
You
walk
know?
around.
I mean, that's
butt
your
naked.
problem. Nobody cares. Nobody cares what you
butt
wear.
naked.
I mean, you don't want to wear like, you know, like a weenie bikini, you know, if you're like a guy, you know, in public. That wouldn't be
Weenie
socially
bikini? Is
acceptable.
that like the one with the
Or like
pocket?
some nut huggers or something, you know. I mean,
That's like going to the beach and you know they got kids there. Why are you wearing that? You're a grown man, mature.
okay, and also another F you could stop giving. How about the past?
What is the past but just a picture from your memory?
Well, exactly, and it just meant to teach you lessons. I quit giving craps about gossip. Who cares what other people say about you behind your back? You know, that's on them. Others' approval. Toxic people.
Well,
yeah.
definitely.
Get rid of
Just
those
make
people.
sure you're not the
Exit.
toxic person.
Yeah, make sure you're
Because it's
not.
hard to get away from yourself. I've tried.
Well, yes, and sometimes you can be the toxic person without even realizing.
The only way to do that is by changing or lots of magic mushrooms.
As we proved earlier on in the show.
Become not toxic.
Let's see. Quit giving a crap about your failures. You mentioned this earlier that they're meant to teach you something.
Exactly.
You know. Let's see. Mandatory nights out.
Mandatory nights out. Like, oh, Tuesday night's poker. No.
All right. Friday night. Let's go party.
Yeah, no.
And
Maybe
how
like
about?
second Friday every month, maybe. Maybe
Right,
that's
maybe.
a
Well, you
and
end up
with the
spending
other-
like a lot of your extra cash going out.
one
and-
night, like
and one night, you know.
You could
You could have a month of
you could
fun
have
at your house.
$300 to like that you don't have bills and you will spend $200. You'd be like, oh, but I do need that $100 if you go and get drunk because your inhibition is
Well, sure. I mean, every time you go out, you're looking at least $30-$40. You know?
Oh yeah. Or anytime
I
you
mean,
go
between
sit
cover
and eat
charges,
somewhere,
yeah.
sitting and eating somewhere, that's like at least 20 to 30.
Right.
Going
Unless
out-
it's like fast food.
Yeah.
Which we're down to about 2 minutes here.
Oh.
Jacob coming in was the light on.
Jacoby.
Let's see. Social media likes. I care not.
Dude,
I don't even post anything on social
I
media.
do post, but I don't care about likes.
Let's see. Everything you don't have. Revenge. What ifs.
What is revenge?
Material possessions. Can't take them in the afterlife. Being good enough for people. Well, they already kind of mentioned that one. Regret. Man. So, I don't know. We're about our last minute. Jacob, about 45 seconds, something like that.
30 seconds, yeah.
So, yeah, another good show. We covered it all, I think. We
Yeah.
talked, we expanded. We brought the real fake news to you, Acadiana. Sorry we had the phone trouble tonight. We'll try and get that fixed. You know how AOC is. We're a little festival hungover.
And don't forget, Shop Lafayette.
Shop Lafayette, because yes, we are consumer whores like the rest of them. So, Acadiana, Fernade, William, we loved having you. Give us a call next week. Peace.